shoot a fucking arrow through their eye or a bullet through their face or, just jump down and cut their goddamn head off with my machete. I think that's perfectly fair and should be legal in this country, but, they call it entrapment. Well, I call that a bunch of horse shit because, thieves are thieves and, they have to be dealt with one way or another. And, cops aren't going to find somebody that steals something for $250, let's face it. So my property's just gone and so's my money there. But let me just say, meth mouth, hopefully this comes back to bite you in the ass because it's a piece of shit mower, and that's that. But, Vic, so I guess what's grinding my gears are fucking thieves.
I'm not gonna lie, man. That's been grinding my gears too. I understand completely.
Yeah.
Somebody stole my lawnmower once, and it was in my shed, and they stole it. But it was like a 10-year-old piece of crap.
I thought to myself, if I had actually locked this up or done anything like that, it still would happen. There's nothing that's going to stop people like this. And in fact, like a few blocks over from my house, same thing happened to somebody else. So, I mean, somebody just needs to sit on the roofs of houses on blocks and just fucking cap these people in the head when they come by thinking they're going to steal something. Just put them away.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. I mean, people need their lawnmowers right now, man. Their grass to be growing, and I mean, yours is a damn jungle last time I was there.
Yeah, and I killed the jungle, but the good thing is now, Vic, I'm just going to pay somebody to do my lawn again. I'm done with it. I'm not buying any more mowers. I'm not dealing with this.
Pay a Corey to do it.
I would, but he's useless. But I've got somebody that's going to do it, and I think he's kind of a Forrest Gump-like character, so he'll do
awesome. It. All right, so we got about what?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, we got about 13 minutes left. You want to talk about Poltergeist?
Yeah, let's talk about Poltergeist. Okay,
it's been out for a few days. Everybody should have seen it by now.
Okay, yeah, we're going to throw some spoilers in here. So, this will be a good time for people to tune out if you don't want to hear our Poltergeist talk. So we're throwing out the warning here. Spoilers ahead for Poltergeist, the remake, which if you've seen the original, it doesn't fucking matter anyway. Vic, if you want to give your thoughts first, I'll get into it next.
I mean, like I've told pretty much everybody now, if you've never seen the original, which, I mean, anybody from my age or older or a little younger, whatever, probably has, or even just horror buffs in general have, then if you haven't seen it, then you'll probably love it and you'll think it's a great movie and this, that, and the other. Myself, I love the original, and I know, Travis, I know you love the original. It's just not there. I mean, I don't mind remakes. I mean, hell, I love a lot of the remakes, but whenever you try to go for something and try to do it scene for scene, just like add newer stuff to it, I guess. But you don't really give it the flair to it or what. I don't know, man. There's just something about it that didn't sit right, I guess. As you said, it's a soulless remake. I mean, I love the original. I like this movie. Don't get me wrong. It was fine. I'll probably own it. I'll watch it. I mean, because everybody's telling me that it's great, so I do want to rewatch it now just to see if I missed something the first time. I mean, I was tired, but there's just something about it that, it couldn't really say, hey, this is Poltergeist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if I gave it a rating right now off of one viewing, off of just, going to see it opening day, the first showing possible, I'd probably give it a 3 out of 4.
Well, all right, Vic, so let me set this up for you. First of all, I watched the original Poltergeist, which I have a high opinion of. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say it's one of my favorite movies, because it's not. But I love Poltergeist. I watched it as a kid. I've seen it a lot. You know what I mean? I think it's a great movie. And in many ways, it's a perfect movie. Not a lot of problems with the original Poltergeist. It's not straight horror, however. And I kind of expected this one to be straight horror, the way that they were plugging it, which I was cool with. I mean, because you got to change it up. You can't just do the same fucking movie. That's why the Psycho remake was awful. Hell, even Halloween the remake, while it was shot for shot in a lot of ways, they added a lot to that movie to make it its own entity. And obviously, Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw Massacre were completely different animals than the originals. But that being said, all right, so, we watched this movie, and what I'm thinking throughout is, okay, well, there's that scene. They had that in the original. They had that scene in the original. But they were done in worse ways most of the time. One of the things that I thought was cool were the hands on the TV screen. I thought that was really cool, but I had already seen that in the preview, so I had lost any kind of charm to it. You know what I mean? It didn't have any atmosphere for me. The clowns weren't as good as you would expect them to be. They looked like they were going to be creepy as shit. Didn't have any kind of an impact on me, and that's not because I'm not scared of clowns. There were a lot of, useless jump scenes in this movie that you could see coming that were, horror cliches. The little girl was no Heather O'Rourke, let me say. And I don't mean to say this like a weird pedophile sort of way, but, the cuteness of Heather O'Rourke as a little girl, nobody could touch that. She was so cute as a little girl, for that role. It was perfect. And, so they had this little girl, and, in the original Poltergeist you had, they're here, and in this one she's like, they're coming, they're here. Okay, that had no impact on me whatsoever.
Yeah,
they were just rattling off
about
lines. Yeah, I liked the dad. He was about the only actor that I actually enjoyed in the movie. Everybody else can go fuck themselves. The little boy being scared of everything and then being the one that has to go in after his sister, stupid. The one thing I did like is that they actually showed where the sister went, but I wasn't all that impressed with that scene. You know what I mean? I wanted it to be kind of cool. It really wasn't. So, I mean, I'm not bashing the movie. As a standalone movie, if you've never seen Poltergeist, just like Vic said, it's fine. And people in this generation that have never seen Poltergeist, they'll walk away from it thinking it was a really good horror movie. And that's their thing. And I think that this movie was made for people like that. They talk about that all the time with Halloween and Friday the 13th, that these movies were not made for the people who were, fans of the originals. I mean, sure, it's a bonus if they can get them to like it and watch it. This is for a generation of new fans. And, I don't have that perspective that the other people have. I have a better movie that I've seen before that I enjoyed a lot more, that I thought was superior in most ways. And for me, I mean, a lot of people are going to say, well, this one's just not as good as the original. But let's take that out of it. This one was fine, and that was it. You know what I mean? Even if you don't compare it to the original, it was still just fine. It wasn't anything blow away. And, Mudd, who most of the time I don't care about his opinion, he was right, though. It was rushed. It was anticlimactic. I walk away underwhelmed. It will have no impact on me. Sure, I'll watch it again someday, but I certainly won't go out of my way to watch it. And I'm not against remakes. Vic and I like Evil Dead. We like all those slasher remakes. I don't like Nightmare on Elm Street anymore, and Vic's only seen it once. So, so it's definitely not anything against remakes. I just don't think they did this remake well at all, because they could have gone from, Poltergeist being the way it was, and actually doing what they said they were going to do and making a sequel and a remake at the same time. This was a remake. There was no sequel there. And also their explanation of it being on on a cemetery burial ground. In the original, there was a lot more impact. All the things in the original have a lot more impact, better acting. Vic, here's an example. Remember when the little boy, and I'm digging into your memory banks, but in the original, when he starts to realize that the little girl's in the TV, he's like, Mom, Mom, Mom,
Mm-hmm.
Mom, Mom, and it starts escalating, and he looks freaked the fuck out. And this one, he's just like, Mom, Mom. I'm like, you fucking actors are awful. Who did you hire here? You're all terrible.
I was gonna get in that.
Emotion.
The kids fucking sucked. I mean, all the actors were bad. The TV guy that came out to do the this house is clean. I mean, he sucked. But the kids are just horrible, man. The little girl, she had a couple funny one-liners, but they all suck, man. I know the crop of kid actors isn't that bad now. There's got to be some out there that are way better than this.
I bet you they were cutting corners on the budget there. But, I mean, whatever. It just, again, I don't want to destroy the movie because it's not a terrible movie. That's not what I'm saying. But, having the perspective of a great movie and then you do this and I'm supposed to, give a shit? No, I just don't. I wish I hadn't gone and seen it at the theaters. I'm glad I've seen it, but I didn't need to see it at the theaters. That's what I walked away thinking. So that being said, I'm going lower than you. I'm going 2.5 out of 4 machetes. I mean, it was fine. Again, it was fine. It was better than most of these horrible Exorcist movies that are out these days. I will say that, too. It's better than most of the shitty movies that have come out in theaters for horror. But, when you talk about the title Poltergeist, then I have a problem, because if you can't even, either change it from the original and make it more interesting because of that, or even get close to the original, I just don't really have any use for it. And that's the problem, is that I'll see it again, but I don't have any desire to see it. I'm not dying to see it again. At some point, I'm sure I'll watch it. I just don't really care, though,
Yeah, I mean, like you said, man, I'm not against remakes. You're not against remakes, but sometimes, you're remaking a movie that is considered a classic amongst the horror genre. Even if it should be or not, I mean, it is. And whenever you remake it, either A, you need to make it like Evil Dead and just make it 100 times better, or not 100 times better. But I mean, I think the remake of Evil Dead is better than the original. I mean, I may be the only one, but the remake was fucking amazing. Or you need to, like you said, make it a somewhat of a sequel to where you're not trying to do it scene for scene. And then, I mean, you make a good movie like that. But it is what it is. I mean, we probably sound like we're too bitter, old horror fans that
and I hate people like that. I hate them.
I mean,
but,
I don't want to sound like that, because that's not how I am, because I love remakes, and this just didn't do it, man. I gave it a 3 out of 4. I enjoyed the movie, but
yeah, we didn't walk away. Neither one of us looked at each other and said that was shit when it was done. I looked at you and said that was a soulless remake, because it was. I mean, all you did was do the exact same movie in a worse way and call it the same. I don't really need to see that movie. I can just go back and watch the original. So I'm not. A lot of people's complain about remakes is you're ruining the original. It didn't ruin the original. I can still go watch the original. In fact, I will. I just won't watch this one. That's the problem.
I mean, no remake has ever ruined the original for me.
Yeah, and people make that claim too, like Halloween especially. That's the one that they go to. But no, there's just a totally different thing here. Again, it just underwhelming is the best words I can use. And I know we had some expectations here, but
that could be it.
Do a shot-for-shot remake. Fuck you.
My expectations were out of the roof. The trailer looked amazing to me, and I mean, plus it was Poltergeist. I didn't think there is, I really didn't think you could make it bad, I guess. And it's not bad, like I said, but I don't know. My expectations were pretty high, and it didn't meet them.
No, it didn't. But, it is what it is. Next week, you guys, I have no idea what we're doing. We're going to talk Friday the 13th, Part 7. I promise you that. But if we don't talk Friday the 13th, Part 7, we'll talk some sort of Friday the 13th. But Part 7's next in the agenda, since we have not talked Friday the 13th, Part 7 yet. So if I can get a guest on, fan-fucking-tastic. If not, well, I'm sure we'll have some things to talk about. We usually do. If we don't have a guest, then, I'm going to get obliterated like Vic was last week, because that made me jealous. So.
Because what?
Because it made me jealous.
Okay. Sorry. The lady cut in saying we had 90 seconds, and I didn't hear what you said.
Well, go ahead and throw out the plugs. I'll head out, and I'll talk to you tomorrow at some point. All
right, buddy. You have a good one. Take it easy.
Later on, audience.
Yeah. All right, that was our. You can check out his or the documentary on YouTube. I rented it today. It's $2 if you want to see it, because it's not on Netflix anymore. But if you want to watch it, it's a very great movie, a great documentary. Go check it out. $2 on YouTube if you want to rent it. But you can follow us on Twitter at Trav&Vic Horror. Same thing on Instagram, Tumblr, all that nonsense. We're there. Check us out, Trav&Vic Horror. Look us up on Facebook, Travis and Vic's Drunken Horror Adventures. It's where we post everything. The likes are getting up there, so go give us a like if you haven't yet. Next week, like you said, Friday 13th, Part 7. We will hopefully get a guest. If not, resort back to our old format of running the movie down, getting drunk, slurring, and talking shit, because it's what we do best. tomorrow afternoon we have the IPR reveal show where we will